Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks.
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to share with you guys. This is the new WE Knives Kyklos, or Kyklos. I'm not really sure exactly how to pronounce that, but there's the word right there. Another premium offering from WE Knives. It's got a lot of interesting stuff going on. And there's also some kind of, basic stuff going on here, but I'm going to talk all about it. Shouldn't be a super long review. Thanks so much to WE Knives for sending it in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. This is available in a bunch of different configurations. The price varies a little bit, and a lot if you're going to buy damage steel, but I'll link it down in the description. It does help my channel and use those links, but that's up to you. Size comparisons, any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others, up against the 8010 and the Excalibur, my own Excalibur. We should probably measure this knife first, right? This is another knife. We really likes these this measurement and these ratios here. It's about 8.5 inches. And then it has a I'm going to call that a 3.85 inch blade. And then your cutting edge is about 3.75 inches. This is a ratio that we've seen. It's a size of knife and a ratio of knife, a blade to handle ratio that we have seen from WE multiple times. It's very close to what Shirogorov does. It is definitely something that they have picked up on and their designers really, really like. And it does create for very aesthetic knives. So this is definitely a knife I would put in that same category. It is exactly the same overall length as the 8010 and the Excalibur. Though I would relate it more to the size of the Excalibur. It's not quite as tall or robust as the 8010. Anyways, up against the Spyderco PM2 and the Spyderco Para 3, obviously quite a bit bigger than both. And then finally, let's put it up against the Benchmade Griptilian, or in this case, the Ritter Hogue and the Hogue Deca. How's the action on this knife? WE has just gotten better and better and better with their action. This is one of those things that, and if you're a knife reviewer or somebody who has created content regarding, or covering knives and uploaded it on YouTube, action is one of those things. It's very difficult to describe the different tiers of action, what to expect. After handling literally thousands of knives on this channel over the years, I can always tell when companies are getting better versus their previous work. And I can also tell when certain companies or people, individuals, are just light years ahead, whether it is a knife that is on washers or bearings, or, it has maybe it's a frame lock that it's got a detent ball and it's creating, pressure. There's all these different varying expectations. WE Knives has gone from good but kind of tight to, wow, really smooth. I mean, this is a smooth knife. So you said here in recent uploads that you were mega impressed with Kyklos and their action. What's the difference, right? There's a lot of you maybe sitting there handling this knife and you're like, this is God tier smooth. I mean, how much better could it get? Little tiny things, this is really great. This is really great action. It's very impressive. The D10 is tuned properly. It's nice and smooth. Drop shut. What separates WE from Kyklos is being able to feel the movement on the inside. It's subtle, but I can feel it. Little bits, just a couple of bump, it's bearings. Not a bad thing, right? But these are the little teeny tiny things that will separate a company like WE Knives that has really, really great action from a company like Kyklos that has exceptional, right? It's not just the fall shot. It's not just the, the break of the detent and the easy transition and the clicks and the clacks. There's little teeny tiny things. But as we climb the ladder, you have to ask yourself as an individual, am I willing to spend hundreds of dollars more on this element combined with, obviously there's more elements there. But to clarify, yes, this knife has beautiful action. It's very, very good, right? But there are differences when we're talking about higher tiers. Is this action good enough at the price that they're asking? Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're still at the top of their game. They're still at the top of their competition amongst a couple other companies. When it comes to action, they're doing a really, really good job. It's what you expect and probably beyond what you expect for some people. So very happy. No double clutch. Great detent. Low profile flipper that can be push buttoned or light switched despite it looking kind of pokey. Really nice and easy access to the lock bar. Really, really good. Carry profile, thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. So this is a little bit thicker than the Para 3, but it doesn't feel like a thick knife by any stretch of the imagination. Length and height up against the PM2 and Para 3. It's actually going to take up less room in your pocket than the PM2, despite being a bigger overall knife. Let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness since the calipers are right here and I don't want to lose them. I can't believe it's already time to change the battery in this thing again. It made it through a few thousand uploads. 149,000, 150,000 is pretty typical for WE knives. So, what are we, let's weigh it. What are we looking at for material? So we are looking at M390. Again, we have titanium, and we've got more titanium for the backspacer and more titanium for the pocket clip. HRC in the M390, WE loves 59 to 61. As has been pointed out many, many times, a lot of WE knives have gone off for testing with individuals like Love Them Knives and Transparent Knives, I think. I can't remember if it's one or the other or both. And they're pretty consistently 60 or higher. They probably have the 59 in there. And I think they list their DLC blades when they do them as even lower, 58 to 60. They're probably doing that just to make sure that they're honest about maybe outliers. Maybe it's pretty rare for a knife to hit 59 or even 58, which is the 58 HRC M390. It's like, what are you doing? Right? But it's probably possible, and they know that. So they're trying to be honest and not lie about it. But it seems like the majority of WE knives are hitting 60 plus. That's based on, I think, tests covering maybe 20 of their knives, which is a pretty good sample size, right? So I'm repeating what I have heard from people who have proper testing equipment. Big emphasis on proper testing equipment. We don't want people with the wrong testing equipment testing blades and sharing that information with the community. We want people who have real HRC testing equipment. So the test results from those folks have come back pretty good. So I don't test blades. I don't have the equipment, but just to share with you guys what I've heard. Anyways, M390 titanium and some internal milling for weight reduction. Let's weigh it, but let's make sure that we have the proper, right? Probably high 4s, low 5s. No, low 4s. It's much, I don't know why it felt so heavy. 4.2 ounces, not bad at all considering you have a 3.8 inch blade. In fact, because of the ratios there and the blade stock being 150 thousandths, the balance on it is pretty perfect. Usually when the balance is perfect, the knife feels like it weighs less than what it actually weighs. So maybe it's just the bulk or the feeling of it being like a pretty big, it's kind of a loud, like aesthetically, it's a very loud and aggressive looking design. So maybe psychologically that made me think that it was going to be heavier. I don't know. But there you go. Good balance. We're good to go. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. I'm going to get out my tools. As per usual, my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. It is a T8. And then we have T8 hardware here. Hidden pocket clip screw underneath. It's likely a T6. Only 2 screws because it threads into the titanium, which I am all for a couple of reasons. Number 1, reduction in total hardware. I think that's great. Number 2, aesthetically, from the front, it looks awesome. You're just seeing the pivot, right? A lot of people worry like, oh, if you strip the threads out of the titanium, then you're out the whole show side scale. True. Has anyone ever heard of that happening? I've been on blade forums and everything. I've been like ears to the ground in the knife community for, it's like 16 years now. I'm sure it's happened to somebody, but I've never heard of it. I don't think it's something that happens very often. I think you're fine. I don't think we have to worry about that. So for some people, it's a new fear unlocked. Sorry about that. But yeah, very easy to take apart and put back together. As long as you have the right tools for the job, you should be good to go. Okay, meat and potatoes time. This is a good looking knife. It's a simple knife. There's not a lot going on here. We have machining that, once again, I use this example all the time. It looks like the buildings in Halo. I kind of like it. Not a lot going on. Not a lot of complexity going on here, but it's nice. We have a subtle bronze, right? Little line that goes through here, a couple of holes. Not WE's first knife that is this aesthetic. They have done this before. They have a long, pretty aggressive clip point blade with a lot of belly. Nice tip. That's going to be a great tip for poking, and a good belly, right, for slicing. The cutting bevel is perfect, as it always is with WE knives. We have a nice sharpening tool there. I'll get you a look at that plunge grind there. Very comfortable ergonomically. Pocket clip also very friendly. Nice lock-in. It's a very secure grip. The whole thing is just it's a very comfortable handle profile, and it's a knife that gives you confidence despite not having any massive texturing to lock you in. There is nice jimping up here, and it feels very, very purposeful. I really appreciate these edges back here, especially being almost radiused, right? The backspacer is cool. This area is an area that companies have gotten extremely lazy with. It's not that it has to look cool for the knife to be functional, but when we're at this tier, right, when you're asking what they're asking for this, the people shopping for this stuff, there's a good chance they'll use this knife, right? We're not at the price where, you know, people like exclusively don't, or the majority does not use the knife, right? New people are always confused about this. Oh my gosh, $100 for a pocket knife, nobody's really using that. Oh my gosh, $500 for a pocket knife, those people aren't really using that. Yeah, so in reality, that territory starts at about $1,000. Then the majority of people are not, like the people who are buying it, then they're not using it. At this territory, or around the $500 territory, oh yeah. Those people are using, we've polled this before. It's true, right? But usually the people questioning that statistic are people who do not purchase those knives. So they don't know. But yeah, anyways, these people buying this stuff, there's a good chance that they're going to use it. More than a good chance. It's very likely that they'll still use it. But we're also catering to buyers who want to feel like the money they spent on the object is worth it, right? They know good and well that they're not, that dollar for dollar, not all of it's going into utility, obviously, right? If they just wanted utility, they would buy another $50 or $20 knife, right? At this tier, you're buying utility plus a lot of extra, right? Fit and finish, tight tolerances, premium materials, extra. Doesn't matter that these extra elements don't necessarily equate to utility. They do cost more, and it's something that enthusiasts appreciate. I find this to be an incredibly simple concept, but a lot of people cannot wrap their heads around it, and I think that's perfectly fine. That's why we have so many different tiers in the knife world. You have so many options, an unlimited amount of options, right? So buy what you like for sure. But in this territory, if you're like me, you like a little bit of extra embellishment. In fact, I like a lot of bit of extra embellishment at this price. And the backspacer is an area that so many companies just are so lazy with. They're just like, yeah, we did a minimalist backspacer because minimalism, and we're just all about that minimalism, and we just didn't want to spend any more money on the machining. So I appreciate WE doing something fun here, something different. It looks cool. All these extra little lines and bevels, and yeah, it doesn't add an enormous amount of cost, but it is cool, and I appreciate it. They could have easily just been like, flat backspacer, screw you, we don't care, right? It's just nice. I like it. So yeah, but not a ton going on here. Kind of a fun pocket clip. There's not a mounting position for lefties. It's just right hand, right? This is a two-tone blade. They've got the silver bead blast. They've got a black one. They've got a few different things. They all have a little bit of different personality and flair. We have the machine here on the flats. We have a blasted, or it's almost like a dark, acidy, tumbled finish on the blade. Stop pin in its usual position. We do have shouldering there, little bit. No blade play up, down, left, or right. No lock stick. No double clutch. No pivot lash. Smooth and consistent. In here, nice detent, and absolutely laser perfect centering. What do they want for this knife? Entry price for the one you're looking at here, $289. And it goes up over $300 for some of those other ones. Why? It's a nice knife. I've seen it a million times. In fact, I feel like WE probably has 6 or 7 knives in their lineup that are very similar. So competitively, like comparing apples to apples, like other high-end Chinese production knives that have fairly simple machining, right? Maybe a full-size knife to a larger size knife utilizing M390, $250. There are lots of companies out there making very similar knives for about $250. A lot of people would say, nuh-uh, $200. So you could reference like Artisan Cutlery making a $200 titanium frame lock with S90V. They do that, but those are much simpler. Most of the time, it's like simple texture, flat, satin finish, nothing. Standoffs, flat backspacer, very simple popsicle stick clip, right? These are all little things, but they're little things that add up. This knife obviously has more going on there. So to be fair, yeah, $250 probably would have been right. This is about $40 higher than I think it should be. Hardly the most offensive thing that WE has released price-wise. This knife is cool, but it doesn't do anything different than a lot of knives in their lineup. I don't know. If you're looking at this, I would say look through everything that WE has available right now, because there are plenty of things like this. Things that I like more, things that are going to be more expensive that offer not much more, and some things that'll be less expensive that offer a little bit more, right? But there's also like a ton of other companies out there that are creating very, very similar things for less money. So unless you just absolutely love every single line on this knife, everything is absolutely perfect, it is exactly what you want, I would say look around. But if you go ahead and buy this knife, are you going to like it? Yeah, it's a nice knife. It's just WE Knives is getting kind of, you're going to pay more because it's us. You're going to pay more because it's got a WE logo on it. And they're good. They make a good product. And in a lot of cases, they are superior to a lot of their other competition out there. But not in every case. And there are definitely other companies out there that can create things with exactly equal quality for slightly less money. So shop around. It's okay. It's a good design. The design itself is really, really good. It's a very functional knife. It looks cool, right? They just want a little bit too much for it. So those are my final thoughts. That's going to be it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on the Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.